This is how I lost $1,492 trading NASDAQ on Tuesday, the 24th. I believe it was a Tuesday. Today's the 26th, as y'all can see, but I'm filming this trade recap a couple days later. I actually took a smaller loss today as well. And the price action today was crazy, but you'll see that video after this one. But nonetheless, Tuesday's trade ended up being a loss as well. A larger loss compared to the wins that I've been taking recently. Even though I've been on a win streak, this loss ate up quite a decent amount of the profits I've made in the past week or two. Not a good portion of it, but it took a nice chunk out of it because I told myself, moving forward, if I'm going to take a trade, I'm going to take a trade. I'm not going to get scared by the market, intimidated. I'm just going to go flow state, and if I take the trade, I take the trade. If I don't, I don't. But coming into today's price action, we can see, we'll see what's going on here. I'll show you what we have. So this was, let me get to the 24th. This is our $6 o'clock candle. There's a 6 o'clock candle. Here it is right here. So yesterday, or not yesterday, but yesterday in comparison to this trade, Monday, Trump put out a tweet saying that Iran is looking ready for negotiations, which gave this big spike in the market. Was not able to take a trade Monday. Turns out that's not the case based on what Iran has been saying, posting on social media and whatnot. Could give two shits about that, to be completely honest, because the market's going to do what the market's going to do. It's something that's out of our control. So, as we can see, we're starting into this retrace of this big gap here. We've got this massive gap, super illiquid price range, both indexes coming into Tuesday morning. So, what I saw was either we put in an SMT at this for our pivot, and then we can start taking hourly draws to the upside and start targeting back to the upside. Or if we push into this gap, I could see us displacing all the way through this gap. You know, that's why I have these blue lines. These blue lines here are these 4-hour and hourly high levels here to take profits to the short side. But let me jump down here into the hourly. Overall, we're still bearish on the higher time frame. We have to give that power. On 9 a.m. candle. See what we got. So, 9 a.m. candle. It appears that ES is slightly weaker on the 9 a.m. candle. It's closer to this Asia low, but not too much of a difference between it and NQ. We don't have an SMT here at Asia session. But both indexes take out Asia session high with London session high. This, to me, looks like a sweep of a session level. We get a rotate down, retrace up on the hourly, we get another rotate down. So coming into New York session open, we want to see there's new money that comes into the market, and we want to see either confirmation of continuation or SMT put in at Asia session low or some low to send us higher. So if I drop down here to the 5-minute, we'll see how price plays out. This is 9:10, 9:35 candle. Let me put this back. So as you can see, this is this big, massive range. Actually, it might be easier to see on the 15-minute. Let me start this with the 15-minute. So 9:45. As you can see, this is the opening of the market. Opening of the market. Let me get us 9:30, 9:45. First 15-minute candle. What do we have? What do we have? And what you'll see this on the 5-minute. What we have it open is market come up, put an SMT here, put an SMT here. And what we do is we get this continuation confirmation where we come up into this 15-minute gap. Don't quite come into it on ES. We come up into this 15-minute gap on NQ, And in return, what that gives us is more orders for NQ to be filled, more confirmation. So it's by default, not by default, but then it gives us more orders for NQ to be stronger to the downside. It picked up more volume at this 15-minute high, more orders filled, more volatility to go short. Ideally, I would have liked to see ESB weaker here, leading the charge to the downside due to this 15-minute SMT, but NQ got more orders filled, which allowed it to get more volume to go fills to go short. Now, once I saw this, once I saw that we came up putting this SMT and we start rotating down, I really thought that there was good opportunity for us to fill the rest of this gap completely. Lots of open space here on both indexes, right? But I'm not going to set first take profit down here at this low or down here at the bottom of this gap, right? We use these hourly highs. We can use these hourly highs and the start of this gap right here and this last high as our first take profit, for example, when we don't want to set our first take profit as the fill of this gap. Let me drop down here to the 5-minute and show you more of not what I was wanting, but what price was showing us. So as we can see, this is our first 10 minutes of open. 940. What do we get? We get, and actually, ES takes out Asia session low pre-market. NQ does not. So that's hence why I said we very well could have put in an SMT at this London session or at this Asia session low and moved higher. We have, lots of low resistance 5-minute liquidity here, London session high, and then over here we have more hourly highs over here to the left side as well from Monday, from previous high days. But what we get, NQ comes up, we put in this SMT here, Asia session low, NQ comes up, fills this gap on the 15-minute. Hourly still bearish. 15-minute still bearish. And what do we get? We get a break of structure to the downside on the 5-minute. Break of structure to the downside on the 5-minute below these lows. This SMT is invalidated because NQ takes it. So from what I was seeing in price action, the only thing holding back indexes from dumping was the fact that we could have put in an SMT right here at this Asia session low. Once NQ broke below this Asia session low, when we had no man's land to the short side, I thought there was decent opportunity for this to just flood the face to the downside. But I was not going to take a short based off of that alone. What I needed to see is how the price was going to react around this 5-minute gap. What do we have happen here? This is the 950 candle. Is this the 950 candle? Yes. So we're nearing the spot of the macro where price is going to reveal its true direction, true targets on the day. This 5-minute gap was a telltale sign for me. If we come up, disrespect this gap on the 5-minute, and then this is what this looks like. If we were to come up, this 5-minute stick, fill this gap, and then start pushing moves down, there would have been a higher chance for this to be a retrace to fake out shorts for this to go higher because we disrespect this 5-minute gap. But because we respected this 5-minute order flow, we filled this gap completely, get a great reaction out of it. NQ's price actions look a little bit better than ES's, and it's leading the charge to the downside despite ES favoring the SMT. NQ's weaker to the downside. Once we get this, what this retrace looks like on the 5-minute is up into here. We get a break of structure to the downside on the 1-minute by breaking below this low, right? Once we did that, I entered shorts. I put my take profit above at the body of this candle here. Now, some might be wondering, why did I put my stop up there? It has been a recurring theme for me, if you have not been watching my videos, to get exact stopped out before price intends to going in the direction that I took my entry in. So I was thinking about setting my stop at this high here, which is in this 5-minute gap, but we also have this 1-minute gap here. But then I thought, no, I'll place it at the top of this 1-minute fair value gap just in case, it was going to come up, sweep out this high to get more liquidity to go short. But then I wanted an extra room of it, coming up and testing this gap completely. So I set my stop up here. And I was about to lose my mind because I thought I would have got stopped out by putting my stop up here before price if it was going to rotate down, but it ended up going up on the day. So bias ended up being wrong. But I liked the opportunity that this trade showed. I would take it again. There was lots of opportunity to go short here. No man's land over here on, to target all of these potential bounce and reversal levels. These are highs from the other day. These are not liquidity targets, but they could be decent spots for reversal. But ultimately, would have liked to see this whole gap get filled. And this whole gap being filled would have been all the way down here. This would have been almost a 3 risk to reward. So that would have been, there's good potential for this trade for sure. Would take again. We had 5-minute order flow disrespected. Retrace on the 5-minute confirmation, strong reaction out of it, entered, and then ultimately ended up getting stopped out. But on this retrace here, I was getting nervous because at the same time ES was retracing, and even though these are retracing, I thought this still had good opportunity to work, especially after getting stopped out. I thought there's this price is after making a proper 5-minute retrace, 5-minute up candles up into past equilibrium off the 25-minute EMA. If once I got stopped out, I thought price would have gone and taken out my take profits, because if we look at ES has equal lows on the 5-minute, 573.5 and 573.5. I thought for sure this retrace was going to come up, stop me out before price intended on rotating back down to take out these equal lows and filling the rest of this gap. So it would have been super unfortunate if I would have got stopped out and that would happen. And I thought that was definitely what was going to happen because of those ES equal lows. But was just wrong on the day, and that's okay. Been wrong before, but that's just how it goes. It's a trade I would take again, but this was Tuesday's trade recap, and thank you.